All right, we are going to try some different stuff here well, it's not 2024 yet, but we're working through some suggestions. We're going to look at an old favorite, Old Forester 1920 Prohibition style. I'm going to pour that. You can see, I'm not sure how long I've had this bottle for. Just a little pour. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about this bourbon. This is what's known as a straight bourbon. We're not going to really talk about what qualifies a whiskey to be a bourbon, but if it's a straight bourbon and if it's between 2 and 4 years, okay, a bourbon has to be at least 2 years, but if it's between 2 and 4 years on the bottle, the age has to be stated. Now, if it's more than 4 years, they don't have to. This particular bourbon is non-age stated. It's rumored that it's about 4.5 years. Now, it isn't a single barrel. This is a batched product. So they take whiskey from several barrels, mix them, and what they're shooting for is to get that consistent flavor all the time. In a single barrel, your flavors will vary a lot. Now, this is the mash bill on this is 72% corn, 18% rye, and 10% malted barley. I wouldn't consider this a high rye. To me, a high rye would be 25% or more rye. This is a standard mash bill for a rye bourbon. This is made by Brown-Forman, Old Forester is, and other bourbons in their portfolio are Jack Daniel's, Woodford Reserve, and also one of my favorites. It's kind of a budget bourbon. You get it from Ohio usually. Cooper's Craft 100 is delicious. This is the 1920. You can Google all about Old Forester and the Prohibition and 1920. Or you can go on the tour like we did. But that information's out there. Let's go in the nose. It's pretty nice. We get some nice caramel. Not too much ethanol. This is 115 proof. Okay, that has a very pleasant nose. You're getting some sweetness, some caramel. You know, I'm choosing this bourbon. We're going to try and rank them or rate them on a scale of 1 to 5 from now on. And I want to use this as my baseline bourbon. So what I'm going to judge others off of. Now, it's not necessarily fair because some will be rye, some will be finished. But I feel it's important to have something that I know I like. Give it a rating. And then rate other bottles after that. Now, on any given day, anyone would like get different flavor points out of a bottle and like it differently, right? So today I'm going to give it a score. Another day I come back to it, give it probably a different score. Probably in the same range though. With that one, I got a little dark fruit, possibly cherry. And that's coming out more as it sits. And that's one of the things I don't usually let them sit enough. that smells really nice. I'd have to say the Old Forester 1920 and the Four Roses single barrel were two bourbons that really got me on my bourbon journey years and years ago. Now, I would just years and years ago only have one or two bottles in the house. Now I have a couple hundred, so now I'm off the deep end and I'm insane. Oh, this smells really nice. Let's go in. Okay, so this is my first drink of the day. I'm going to go in again. Nice sweetness off the front. I got some rye spice off the back. And it was a decent hug. Nothing fabulous, but it was a decent hug. Last time I had this, I thought it drank hot. Today, it's not. I'm not confusing the rye spice with heat. This is drinking right around where it should at 115. Let's try it again. On that one on the front of the palate, I did get some dark fruit notes. There was something a little funky on the mid palate, on the back of the palate and finish. I did get that rye spice, a little bit of cinnamon, baking spices, whatever you want to call it. You know, I can't really differentiate. But the hug was gone. Okay, so the finish is a little shorter now upon the second sip. Okay, so I created up this fictitious rating scale. I need to find it again. And of course, I lost it. Oh yes, a 1 is a drain pour. 2 is a mixer. This is definitely not a 1 or a 2. Now, I know this is going to sound terrible, but 3 is average. When I say average, I mean it's good, right? It belongs on your bar, right? It's not outstanding. It's not, fabulous. So when I say it's average, I'm saying that it's good. Then I have number 4 is delicious. Like you're like, oh, wow, this is really, really, really good. And then 5 is outstanding, which would be close to orgasmic, kind of like in the Michter's 10 realm for this year. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go in again. And I do like this. It's definitely not a 4, right? And I'm going to say it's probably closer to a 3, which is good. 3.2, 3.3. Okay, so I'm going to say this is about a 3.2, right? Now, a lot of people are probably going to hate on me, like it should be a 4, but a 4 should be something more. All right, so I'm going to say this is a 3.2, and then everything else I drink, I'm going to try and base it off of the fact that I said Old Forester 1920 was a 3.2 out of 5, which is average, which is good, which is better than good, right? So good, it's not great. If you want a word, we'll say, oh, it's really good, if that makes you happy. All right, this should be a staple on everyone's bar. This rare breed. It'd be interesting to where I'd see 1910 go. I do like 1910 better. I have an affinity towards finished whiskeys, bourbons, and sweeter. So I might rank that a little bit higher. Not much, but probably a little bit. So I hope this was mildly informative. And now we got a rating, which someone said you should rate them. Not that my ratings will mean much. And we're going to use this as a baseline from this point forward. Cheers. Smash the like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe.